welcome to Everything Opposite. Really? Again? Really? Hi, welcome to Everything Opposite podcast, where we talk about things. I'm Derek. This is Aaron.
I'm Aaron. He can't talk.
It's been a long day.
Are you gonna fix that? Or are you just gonna let it stay in there?
Oh no, I like to put flops in there.
Yeah, we'll keep it because since I said you can't talk, if you would have talked right, people would be like, "What the shit?"
Yeah.
That'd have been weird.
Yeah, I don't mind keeping flops in there. It's just if there's too big of gaps or things, that's the kind of things edited out, or
these big gaps of silence.
Or if it's just where you kind of like lose your train of thought for a second, you're just like,
what was I talking
about? The thing about the thing, and then that's the kind of thing I would cut out. But
all right, so that's the kind of things we cut out in the editing room, and by editing room, I mean Derek all alone on his laptop in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I'm about to
with lotion.
Yeah. When you leave tonight, I'm literally going to edit last week's episode, the one that's an hour, 45 minutes.
That thing was way too long. That's what she said.
Yeah, but it was a fun one, so.
That's also what she said.
Okay. But we're going to jump into the topic for today, which, honestly, I kind of like the free flow of last week's episode, so there are no notes for this one. We just have a topic.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, we talked about kind of liking that. What is the topic?
So today we're going to be talking about books, which we had like a mini tangent last week on.
We did. And, you know, just so everybody knows, I have read a book once.
It was a required reading for school. That was probably it.
No, it was Sports Illustrated magazine.
Does that count as a book?
No. No, it doesn't.
But I think you did read First Blood. I remember you read that way back in the day.
Yeah, that's a good book, actually. It's a very good book. It's like Rambo, because it is, but it's better, you know.
Well, the book is always better.
That's not true. Jaws.
Well, I never read the book, so I can't really compare.
Exactly. See, the book has pages, and the movie has a 45-foot mechanical shark. So, which one's better?
Technically, didn't they use like 3 or 4 sharks?
I don't know. I just know that the movie's better.
Yeah, I think they had a thing where they had so much issues with the mechanics and stuff that they had multiple sharks on set.
That makes sense. Which again, multiple mechanical sharks, pages. I mean,
but with pages, you can use your imagination.
Gay.
You're calling SpongeBob gay? Never
mind. That's not gay.
Honestly, I was waiting for you to say yeah because of him and Patrick, but
hey, that's his hetero life mate. You know, everybody has a hetero life mate. It's like you're gay, but you don't do gay stuff. I just want everybody to know, I don't have any problem with gay people. Don't at me with that shit because I don't really care. I can see it already. But oh my god, he's homophobic. I'll be like, nah.
Just nah.
Well, I mean, how do you prove you're not? That's what's weird. Let's start there. Like,
nothing to do with books. Just like
no. Let's just take this point because I got a question. Like, if you say something that people are offended by, like I just use the word gay in some sort of like derogatory manner. Again, it's fine. Shut up, everybody. But let's just say, like, how do you come back from that? How do people have another opportunity after saying something like that?
I have no idea.
Is it like liquor? Is it just like air and time? If you just wait, like sooner you can like come back and people just kind of like let it slide.
Maybe I don't want to get into this.
Yeah, you're probably
we're
right.
supposed to be talking about books.
Well, that leads into my next topic: series of unfortunate events.
Honestly, the Netflix series was actually pretty darn close.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. I've been saying I want to. I like the books, and I think that having read the books first, you get a weird sense of it being like super sad, but really, it's kind of like cheeky.
It's weird because in hindsight, yeah, they were kind of like jokey and they had like dark tones, but it was still kind of a jokey, kind of fun book.
Right.
But when you were a kid, you were reading that, you legit were like scared and terrified and.
All right. Yeah. I mean, you had some really skinny guy with long bony fingers touching children. That's a different book. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Anyway.
Well, if we're gonna talk about series of unfortunate events, while obviously the movie from 2003 wasn't great.
Jim Carrey.
Would you prefer Jim Carrey or Neil Patrick Harris? Who do you prefer?
Neil Patrick Harris is a better actor, like all around. Jim Carrey is, unfortunately, he's just not that funny to me. he does some things. You know, he's kind of like Adam Sandler. And people are gonna add me for this too. He's funny, but he's not like that funny. You know.
Yeah.
Like if I had to pick between, you know, it's like you can't really compare them. You know, it's kind of like comparing, you know, apples to oranges.
Like, I definitely think Jim Carrey had more the physical look.
Yeah, he's good at doing those weird faces and.
Because like, also Jim Carrey is like actually kind of tall and scrawny, where Neil Patrick Harris is more kind of shorter.
Jim Carrey's also Canadian.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's real. That could be a total lie. I think it's real.
Hey Google, what nationality is Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey's nationalities are American and Canadian.
Oh,
Canadian.
He's Canadian American. Okay.
Yeah. Mexican American.
And this episode is not sponsored by Google. I just like to use my Google Home sometimes.
Yeah, Google's gonna be like, cease and desist. He said gay at the beginning of the episode. We can't support this. No, yeah, Jim Carrey. Like if Jim Carrey could act, he would be the perfect person for that part. But first off, those movies missed the mark big time. Like big, or rather, was it multiple? It was one or two.
It was supposed to be like the full series in movie form. Basically, it was supposed to be like the Netflix series where it was gonna be like, where each season was like a few of the books. It was gonna be each movie was gonna be a few of the books, but the problem was the first one sucked and they did it out of order. Like the whole marriage scene they put at the end of the movie rather than at the end of the first book for the movie.
Right. I remember that, and it was really kind of weird. Like I don't know what they were necessarily trying to get at, but they definitely missed it. I'll tell you, like that they missed it big time.
But when it came to the Netflix show, I think it kind of was a perfect representation of the books. It followed the books. It didn't try to change too much. I haven't read the book in forever, but I do feel like they probably changed like small things here and there. But as a whole, I think the Netflix series definitely took it and did an honorable job with it. They didn't try to make it too much their own. They just kind of like did their own thing.
Plus, it got Neil Patrick Harris, so I mean,
yeah.
And
they also had Patrick Warburton.
I don't know who that is.
Joe from Family Guy.
Oh, I like Joe. Joe's cool. He's actually probably one of my favorite characters on that show. Like he can't walk, but it's okay, you know.
Yeah, I love how like every few seasons they have like an episode where he walks for a little bit.
Like shoot him in the back. Or remember he shoots himself in that one because he's like being a total douche because he can walk again.
Yeah, he can walk again. Then he's like, Bonnie, just shoot me in the spine, and she like misses like 3 or 4 times just shooting him in the leg.
Give it to me. Pow. Oh, Family Guy. You remember that when they did the Star Wars in the couch? You remember the couch? That was my favorite scene.
We're wedged.
just take off. I'll hold it. Just take off. I love that. That's a great scene. That should have been in the original, like in the actual Star Wars movie. I think it'd fit.
Did they have just couches? I mean, I know they have chairs, but like...
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a couch in that movie.
Like, every sort of chair that they do have is like...
Looks super uncomfortable.
It looks like rubbery almost.
Yeah, it's like, we're trying to make this look futuristic, so we just like put saran wrap on chairs and we painted them white or some shit. Like, it looks weird. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about books. Series of Unfortunate Events. The first 5 were really good. Then it got weird, you know? You remember how like the whole volunteer fire department thing, and they like made it this secret thing, but it was just like volunteer fire department, and I was like, what?
Like it was a whole mystery and
like VFD, and I'm like, is that like the Veterans Fair Domestic Violence? I don't know what it was supposed to be, but then it ends up being volunteer fire department.
I mean, it could be very fancy dress.
That'd have been even more weird, you know?
Like VFD can stand for a lot of things, but they did make it like a big whole mystery, but really just kind of was just the name of the group.
Yeah, well, they just like burn stuff down, which is weird. It's kind of dumb. Like really, like because they sold it for so many books, and then it was like, oh, this is what it is, and you're like, damn, really? Like to me, it was a letdown. Also, why are there so many places in that book that are like making children be slaves?
That's a good question.
Like every place they go, except for the woman with the she have the plants, right? She's the guy with the reptiles. Montgomery. John Cena. Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually kind of cool because, like, he kind of had everything the Baudelaires wanted. But, of course, things just had to go sideways.
Also, what a very unpleasant name to have.
Montgomery?
No, their last name.
Oh, Baudelaire?
Yeah, it's kind of like douchey. Like, if I ever met a kid and his last name, I'd beat the shit out of him just because.
I mean, it's a little pretentious, but they were rich, so.
Right. Makes it automatically douchey.
Yeah, like, it's like almost having, like, a last name like that automatically makes you rich.
Yeah, I would make fun of other rich last names, but I'm genuinely afraid that those people would come get me.
Yeah, probably.
So, China.
Can we not? We got political enough last week. We don't need to do this again.
No, I just like how he says that. China.
But, yeah, so.
What books do you think Donald Trump reads?
The Cat in the Hat.
I mean, it's a good book.
Green Eggs and Ham.
I'm not going to eat the eggs. They're from China.
And if he really wants to push it, Goosebumps.
Read the one about the mask. I'm going to cover up. I'm scared. I bet people read to him.
What kind of book do you want to read? Ooh, I want something scary.
Give me the one about the puppet. China. And then the back of the puppet said, made in China.
Actually, want to know something funny? I realized that the case I got for my computer actually says made in China.
Yeah, so, I recently got a tailor, right? And I'm going to bring it one of these days. And it's made in Mexico, which is apparently a step up now. When we were growing up, things made in Mexico were not good. Mm-hmm. Now, things made in China aren't good. Mexico's like the middle area. So really, in a way, we're helping the world.
Yeah, it feels like when it comes to instruments, if you get it from China, it's just like a cheap little thing.
Korea, too.
It'll maybe get the job done, but it's not going to be the greatest stuff. Mexico is kind of like that middle ground, and then made in the USA is kind of like, oh, this is the super expensive top tier stuff, even though it's just as good as Mexican.
Yeah, it's interesting because I did a bunch of comparisons when I wanted to buy this guitar because of how the price range of it.
Yeah,
and it's like the next one up is amazing, but it's just not worth $5,000. You know what I'm saying? It's like if it was like $3,000 too, you could see it, but it's like I'm literally paying for a tailor and the fact that it's made of real wood, and it's like it doesn't sound that much better, which it's interesting because people like they buy things because of what they're made of or like because of the way they sound, but they don't really like look at other options. Like, I'll be honest with you, there's probably way cheaper guitars I could have bought to accomplish the same thing. I just wanted to get a tailor.
Yeah.
But back to books. It's bad when we don't have notes, we're just jumping around, but it's kind of fun. I like it. It's more
we could talk about what we want.
It's more like enigmatic. Enigmatic. Is that a word? Enigmatic?
I think you're saying the right word, but...
Which means like it's kind of like, it's like there.
Enigmatic. I feel like we're missing a syllable or something, but... Enigmatic.
Enigmatic.
What?
Words with Derek and Fetty. It's a new they pronounced that name right there. Yeah.
Ramesh.
No, the whole thing. Oh, sorry.
Wait, you clicked on the thing.
Sorry.
Balaji Ramachandran?
Yeah, he's a transformer apparently.
Robots in disguise.
We're gonna get. Oh, God! I always cuss when I'm not supposed to. Note the time.
We're looking at about 14 minutes.
I hate it. It's like a tick, Anyway, books. No, but the series of unfortunate events, I think that was my favorite growing up. Mm-hmm. But I have to say, and you mentioned it when we were making fun of Donald Trump, the Goosebumps thing, those are good books. Mm-hmm. Like, legitimately, like I've been looking to buy them all. They're just super expensive. Because, back in the day they were cheaper, but I guess because,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and the movie with Jack Black actually wasn't too bad.
I thought it was really good. I thought it paid very good homage to how the series was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a Canadian TV show in the 90s. I mean, that screams terrible, but they did pretty good. Like, low budget, pretty. They're supposed to be doing some other stuff, I heard, too. Like, they're supposed to be, like, bringing back Goosebumps TV show.
Yeah, Goosebumps is one of those things that you can always just modernize it and keep it going.
Well, and I think I'm really, like, to be honest, I think because they still have like newer books, or they have. Don't quote me, but I want to say he's had books come out recently, or within the past so many years.
Actually, just keep talking for a second. I think I have one that I think came out more recently. Hang
Yeah.
on.
No, I want to say, I mean, there was a big bump of those maybe like in the 90s, but then I think he kind of stopped for a while and then he came out with some more. But I mean, all things considered, Goosebumps is probably the best kids horror story or suspense story. I mean, they're really not that scary, but there's a certain level of, I guess, suspense that comes with it. And I think the show actually did better than the, the show actually did better than the books portraying the suspense part of it, which, I mean, I found the books, there were some books, I don't know, have you read the books or most of them? Or
Yeah,
some of them?
I've read a bunch for AR back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, they were like trash points, dude. You can give me like 20 of them in a day and get all your points. Do you remember the one where they show up at that amusement park, the family?
I really don't remember many of them.
Yeah, that one was really the show. So that and Camp Nowhere as well. That was another one. The show did those episodes justice, but they also the Haunted Mask episodes were really good. The ones with Slappy, I'm deathly afraid of ventriloquist dummies, and clowns, and China. So all those things, they did really well with.
Yeah, and the book I was thinking of, it's not a Goosebumps, but it is by R.L. Stine. And it was written in 2016, I think it said. Hang on. Yeah, copyright 2016, copyright 2017.
I see you got it for $6.
Yeah, it was on sale at Books A Million.
Is it good? Is it
I haven't read it yet.
Oh.
I have a bad habit of buying a bunch of books and only reading like one of them.
Sorry.
But actually, speaking of scary clowns, though,
Oh man, did you read the book?
I listened to audiobook.
I have the audiobook, and I haven't even turned it on, but I have read about half the book before. Again, man, I think the movie's better. It's so, you don't think so? And the reason I say that, I don't know, maybe it's because I don't have an imagination anymore because the world has really just cut me down. But I think horror is, like I was saying about the R.L. Stine, the Goosebumps series. I think a movie can portray suspense. I can't talk either. Suspense so much better than a book can. Because I've read The Shining, a phenomenal book. But I gotta say, man, the movie with
Jack Nicholson.
The other one's not that good. The one that's based on the book is not as good. But the movie with Jack Nicholson, I mean, they're both based on the book. But there's one that's more true to the book.
Well, yeah. The thing is, I feel with books they can like focus more on the smaller details, which kind of gives you a bigger picture, better idea of the world.
No, I mean that is totally true. But I think the problem is that, especially now, I just find it so much harder to actually sit down and like really get into the world of a book. Whereas I can turn on a movie and it can be explained to me like a 4-year-old, and I'm good.
Because Stephen King actually said he did not like the one with Jack Nicholson because the director took it in a direction where it's more psychological than the
paranormal.
Paranormal, yeah.
Right. Well, I feel like, to be honest with you, I think it made the movie better because the version not only that, the version that's based on his book was more low budget. But I've seen that one, and it's pretty bad. Have you watched it? Have you watched both versions?
No. Actually, Ricky recently got The Shining because I listened to the audiobook of The Shining recently.
Right.
And so he was like, oh, I want to get that anyway, so we bought it. I just haven't gotten around to actually watching it yet.
And that's the one based on the book?
No, that's the one with Jack Nicholson.
Oh, you've never actually seen the one with Jack?
Well, I've seen it, but it's been a while.
Watch it again. It's kind of like 2001: A Space Odyssey for me, whereas like when I was younger, I was like, what is this? But then I watched it as I got older, and I get it a lot more. Clockwork Orange is the same way.
Yeah.
But all three of those movies are the same director. So
yeah.
But no, Jack Nicholson murders that part. I mean, he's just so good at being crazy because he's crazy. You know. I mean, here's Johnny line, by the way, ad-libbed. Phenomenal. I mean, just here's John, 2 words, and literally just the movie takes off. They also say the N-word, which is kind of funny.
I mean,
because it's like super forced. Like it's not even necessary. Like they totally missed like the mark on that. But it like you could see where even that version of The Shining is like it's sort of that 70s, like I think it was early 70s horror style movie, maybe even early 80s. But it's just the setting's good. the more paranormal scenes are good, but the psychological side of it, that's sort of the best way to sell it, because it makes making a movie. If you could sell a movie without the gore and as much of that kind of stuff, just Mad Max. Have you seen Mad Max, the original?
No.
There's very little actual violence in that movie. It's all threats of violence and camera angles. And it's phenomenal. I mean, Mel Gibson's in it, you know, so that's like a thing. You know, before he got crazy and started saying weird stuff.
Yeah, but with it, I never really actually watched the one in the 90s, the made for TV one.
Right.
But I did watch both of the newer ones.
I have not seen the newest one. I have it. I think it's on HBO right now, so I can watch it. I just haven't.
Yeah, with the movies, they do a good job with what they do show. But obviously, if you want to do the book properly, it would have to be almost like 3-4 movies.
Well, and I think that's sort of the idea for the current, but the current one kind of like pushes it. See, the made for TV one is is more close to how the book. It seems like Stephen King movies that go made for TV are actually more his vision, if that makes sense, because there's a level of like Rose Red was the same way.
It's just a cat.
He's scared. I was like, oh, it's it. Let's get the hell out of here. Rose Red was the same way, right? Where they broke it up into like a TV miniseries, but it was like 3 episodes, and they were all like super long. It's like 2-hour episodes. That to me does, save the. I touched it.
Ooh, you touched my cat.
Oh, Lord. No, to me that gives them the opportunity to show those things, but I also think it people don't have that attention span. And I think that's why those movies. And first off, you got to make them cheaper because they're so much longer. You can't afford But Rose Red, have you seen Rose Red?
No.
Do yourself a favor. Phenomenal. Read the book as well. Langoliers. Have you seen Langoliers?
I feel most of the things you're about to say. Have you seen this? I've not seen.
These are all. It's all. Look, I used to spend a lot of time on the Sci-Fi Channel. Don't at me.
Who would at you for that?
Dude, have you seen movies on the Sci-Fi Channel? They're absolutely terrible.
Sharknado. I mean,
terrible. Literally, the second highest paid person on that movie is a porn star. I mean, what does it tell you about the movie? But actually, what's funny about Sharknado though is it really wasn't. I'm gonna say it, like, for what it was, they did pretty good. Like it works because it's supposed to be bad.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, to me, the TV miniseries that they do based on his books are actually super accurate. Cujo was like that. Have you seen Cujo?
No.
Have you seen Pet Sematary?
Yes.
Pet Sematary is a good example. Children of the Corn.
I have not seen that. Jeez. Look, when it comes to Stephen King, I got.
Are you not a fan? Is that what it is?
Well, no, I'm kind of like. I'm just getting into Stephen King lately.
Yeah, no, it's
so it's like I want to do like Doctor Sleep, Misery,
right.
A lot of those different books.
Did you ever Stand By Me? You ever see that?
No.
That's like his book that's not scary. It's like the little adventure book. And I appreciate it. I know it was super hard for him not to have a bunch of people getting murdered. Like, I mean, I know, because, that Family Guy joke's like, ooh, the killer lamp. You remember that? They make fun of him. You never saw that one? I think it's Family Guy, where he's like, what's your, it's like some guy talks like, what's your next book, Steven? And he's like, we need a new book. And he's like, picks up a lamp. He's like, killer lamp. And the guy's like, all right, shit, just write it. But that's sort of what it feels like after a while. You got the one with the car that kills people. You got Cujo with the dog. You got Pet Sematary. You got It. You got Langoliers. Langoliers, dude, it's not done well as far as, the setting and everything. But do yourself a favor, man. Super good.
I'm just realizing with my short stories, there's only one where someone doesn't die. I'm not going to kill you, man. Over here.
I don't know, man. Look, I feel like you might. The way you're looking at me right now.
I'm looking at you in confusion because you just backed away even further.
But anyway, Langoliers. All right. And look, I don't want to ruin it for everybody, but the plot is amazing. The book's good too. It's these people on a plane, and they get stuck. I think it's about like 5 minutes in the past, I believe. That's all I'm gonna tell you, but it's phenomenal. There's a bunch of twists and turns. There's some terrible acting. There's a crazy white dude. So yeah, it's pretty much like high school. Yeah, I think you would like it. But Stephen King is obviously an adult, book. I think if you read Stephen King, you were a kid, I don't even think you'd be scared. I think you'd be like, what the hell's going on? Like, it's hard to follow. They're big. There's a lot going on in those books.
Yeah, there's a lot of alcoholism, a lot of the sisters of the wife of the main character is always like dead and all that stuff. So, but Stephen King definitely has his own voice. You can kind of tell that whenever you like read it or listen to an audiobook, you can tell he has his own kind of.
Dude, Tom Clancy is the same way, just with war. Like if you like, it's sort of like the Stephen King is like to horror what Tom Clancy is to like war, like Operation Iraq. Tom Clancy. It's like weird. Like I don't actually like Tom Clancy books. I find that they're super like they're just not that good. They're like, they're like with those people that like love like, oh my God, I love movies about Marines. Like I love Marines, everybody, but movies about Marines generally aren't that great. Yeah. They're kind of like off, but that's what they feel like. That's what those books feel like. Stephen King though, he's good. Who's your favorite author of all time?
I don't really have a set favorite author.
Really? Like at all?
No, because like I don't necessarily like. Obviously, I'll find like an author that like, say George R. R. Martin. It's like, oh, he did Game of Thrones and he wrote this other book. Let me give it a try.
Right.
But beyond that, I don't like. Oh, I love Stephen King, or oh, I love J.K. Rowling, or oh, I don't necessarily love specific authors. I just kind of like whatever intrigues me, I'll give a shot. And if the author did a good book with what I did read, I'll maybe check some out of theirs.
Okay.
But
right. Yeah, no, right on. So what's your favorite series?
Hang on, let me look at my books for a second so I can kind of remember. Maximum Ride when I was a kid was actually really good.
Yeah, those were good.
Actually, a book that I listened to recently that I really, really enjoy. It's not really a series yet. The author's about to release a second book. But Hank Green of, the Vlog Brothers on YouTube. John and Hank Green.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, Hank, he wrote a book called An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. And it's basically about this statue that appears like... There's like I want to say like 50 or 100 different like statues that appear out of nowhere all over the world, and the first person to come across one like goes on this whole like adventure, and she's like this important character and figuring out the clues as to why these things are here and all this stuff. And it's actually a really intriguing book.
Really?
Yeah,
that kind of sounds like something that's either really, really good or really, really bad. Like it would, it's like you're either gonna play it out really good or it's gonna be like some really like. It reminds me of Death Stranding, actually. Like there's really like you don't really know what's going on, and you hope that it ends up being something good, or something that turns good rather.
Yeah, it's like teen fiction, so it's not gonna be like adults, but it gives you that like 20-something vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Because she is an adult, but she's still like just trying to do her own thing. And
yeah, do you think that adult books? I don't mean adult. I mean like books that are written from the older point of view. You think that they're like boring because adults have no imagination? Like you see what I'm saying? Like you think that the reason that people because thinking like Twilight, for instance, right? It sells to like all these the demographic is kids, but how many moms read that book? You think it's because like as you get older, you get a little bit more stale to the world, and you have a harder time writing from that point of view?
I mean, I feel like those books that are meant more for like teenager age or like 20s age. The books that are like aimed at those people are just easier and kind of more fun in a way.
Right.
As for if you go straight like to adult, which, for example, like Stephen King, his are for the most part generally aimed at like adults and older.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, but it's weird because like 50 Shades of Grey, who was the audience for that book? Seriously.
People who like Twilight but extra horny.
I gotta read that book.
I mean, it's literally Twilight fan fiction, so.
Well, right, but that's what I mean. Like, it's very clear to me, and I think to everyone that read, it's sort of like that was definitely marketed for like young adults and like, but also older adults.
For 50 Shades of Grey, I definitely feel like it was aimed primarily at moms in their like 30s and 40s who like really like those romance novels and kind of like want their own version.
They want to take it to the next level.
Yes.
It's like a romance novel, but
with bondage. You good, bro?
I was gonna say except punching a woman in the face, but then you said bondage, and I was like, yeah, that's even better.
I mean, let's call it what it is.
What's your safe word? I don't have one. Pop.
What's your safe word? Harder. Wait, what?
How it feels to chew 5 gum. Stimulate your senses. Oh man, that's good. I've seen so many of those that are really funny. Oh my god, that was legit. That was the funniest thing we've ever done on this show.
Oh my god.
Bondage. How it feels to chew 5 gum. Stimulate your senses.
Okay.
Back to the books rather.
But something I do want to talk about.
Go ahead.
Walking Dead.
Yes.
Comics versus the show.
Comics are way better. I can tell. I mean, I know you've read them. I recently got the Comixology Premium because they had it free for like 3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So much better. The show sucks.
The thing is, I feel the show just stretched out way too much. That was their biggest problem. They had too much fluff.
I feel like the biggest problem with the show is that nothing's ever really resolved. Like, it's like, oh, we're here. Oh, same shit, different day. Oh, we made it out of there. Oh, same shit, different day. The bad guys, like, they got better, right? But the story is always the same.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. It's crazy because, like, it's weird because I kind of like connected with professional wrestling, and I'll tell you why. Norman Reedus, his character, Daryl, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't really supposed to be so liked. I don't think right. Like, he was supposed to be like a afterthought.
Yeah,
character.
he was never in the original comics. It was just a
Right.
character for the show, and they were expecting to only keep him for like a season or two.
And then like, it's like, again, it's like professional wrestling, and that people were like, oh my god, we love this guy, and they were like, oh shit, we got to rewrite all this stuff. And I think you can definitely tell, especially the first few seasons he's in.
Mm-hmm.
But look, the best part of that entire show, in my opinion, is in the very first episode, right? When he shoots that little girl in the face, the little girl zombie.
Mm-hmm.
That, I was like, oh my god, they're really going to push the envelope with this show. And then they didn't. Like, at all. Like, they like, you had it right there. I mean, you had me like 100% invested. But AMC shows have that problem. They're slow. They don't really progress, and they shoot little girls in the face.
Yeah, but I also feel it's more censored compared to the comics.
Yes, big time.
Because even at TVMA, it's still kind of reserved compared to the actual comics. Because in the comics, they do some really messed up stuff.
you would have to have it on HBO to get away with stuff. Even then, you'd probably still get a more. It would cost you a lot of money in effects, because the comics are wild, man. Like, some of that stuff, you're like, wow. They went there, right?
Yeah, and I know this was more of a budget kind of issue, but Rick was supposed to lose his hand, like, probably by the end of the first season. Or, like, second season, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I found Rick's character to be severely lacking. I mean, honestly, Michonne is phenomenal, right? Daryl's phenomenal. Merle was phenomenal. I mean, he's probably my favorite character in the whole show. He was such a badass. Like, I loved it. I hated that they got rid of him. Like, I wish they'd have kept him on as sort of like an anti-hero.
And what's funny is, in real life, he is a kick-ass dude.
That's, who's that?
Crap, what's his name? Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker, yes.
Yeah.
You met him, didn't you?
Yeah, he was at Comic-Con one year when I went, and he's a very eccentric person.
Yeah, he seems pretty chill, man. He seems pretty cool. But the graphic, see, that's the thing though. Graphic novels versus movies or shows, right? I mean, have you ever you've seen Watchmen? Have you ever seen Watchmen? Not the show, the movie.
No, I've not actually sat through the movie or read the comics, which I want to do both. But
I have the graphic novel. Yeah.
So does Hannah. So does a lot of people.
No, it's phenomenal. But the problem with the movie is that if you didn't read the novel, like the movie is very slow, man. It's very slow. They do have a blue guy with a big penis, but other than that, very slow. Yeah, I mean it's big. Anyway, the movie's slow, but the graphic novel, on the other hand, is much better of a story. But it's the same way with The Dark Knight. Same way. I mean, and look, I like The Dark Knight. But something about that graphic novel, I mean, it does it way more justice.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Batman?
I don't want to play this game.
Tell me who your favorite Batman is.
Okay.
Since we're talking about Dark Knight.
All right. So we got Adam West. I mean, I'm not gonna say Adam West's my favorite. He's a good Batman for the time. But
I'll tell you what. Let's let's not even consider Adam West because that's a,
That's not even like
let's go 89 or 80 yeah, 89 on. Let's go like the more
the Keaton on.
yeah the darker renditions of Batman.
All right, so Keaton was fairly solid.
Keaton very good, yeah.
Val Kilmer,
Yeah.
George Clooney cashed in. Christian Bale, he was a good like military type.
Yeah, see Christian Bale, and don't sue me, Christian Bale. I feel like that's how he acts in real life. Like, I feel like he just played himself. I feel like he's kind of just a douche. Like he's like a rich guy, right?
Like there's literally like controversy, I think, during one of the Batman movies or maybe even Terminator or something, where he like raged at the director or something.
Did you see? So it's not with him. It's weird because it's not. I don't know. He's so good. I mean, have you seen American Psycho?
No.
Dude, you need to watch movies. I'm tired.
I watch a lot of movies, but
no, you watch a lot of superhero movies. I know, but listen, you gotta watch
okay,
American
look
Psycho.
at my movie collection.
Hold
like
on.
that is not just superhero movies. Like it's
Superhero,
okay. Yes, there are a lot of
Superhero.
superhero, but
Planet of the Apes, Ninja Turtles, superhero, Ghostbusters, kind of super. Why'd you buy that? That's the one with the women.
I got the
Damn it,
original. I
Derek.
got both. What's wrong?
It came with both.
No, it's just
Oh, so
I had Ghostbusters 1 and 2 already.
Okay, all right.
And then I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like that Ghostbusters.
No, you didn't.
I like Chris Hemsworth.
You didn't look. All right.
Like, look, I'm not gonna say it's the greatest Ghostbusters movie ever, but
I like Val Kilmer, but that Batman movie wasn't that good.
point is, I have a range of I got comedies, I got superheroes, I got
Superhero,
dramas.
Kind of superhero. That's a comedy. Evil Dead. All right. Oh, superhero right there. Superhero. SpongeBob, that's superhero. No, but for real. Did you see? Is it Lego Movie? Is that the one with Batman? Darkness, no parents. Is that?
Yeah.
That is the greatest thing ever. Like, oh man.
Yeah. I haven't seen the Lego Movie 2, but I have seen the original Lego Movie and the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah, I saw both of those. They're both really good.
Mm-hmm.
But look, anyway, yeah, I like Christian Bale a lot, but he's an asshat. So anyway, who's your favorite Batman?
As of right now, I'm honestly gonna say Ben Affleck.
Dude, that's not even fair.
Why is it not fair?
Because he did one movie. He's not doing any more, and he's Ben Affleck. He was. I don't think he was like.
I'm gonna say him just because there was one scene in Batman vs Superman where he was basically kicking ass like it was Batman Arkham Asylum.
I don't know, man. I feel like first off, they should make those Arkham games into movies. I like Michael Keaton a lot. I think we are playing this game like it. Look, if Michael Keaton was to be Batman, if he was young man being Batman today, I think he would be. The movies are just better. They're written better. The effects are better. You could make Penguin not be so damn depressing for one. You remember how depressing that dude was? Danny DeVito as Penguin.
Yeah.
It was like. You felt bad for him. I hated it. I was like, dude, don't kill that guy. He needs help. Who's your favorite Joker?
Why do you want to do this?
Because it's fun. Because I know that you have a hard time picking.
Also, I just do want to say about the Batman's things.
Go ahead.
Is if you do like just Batman in his own bubble, they're kind of like different things. Cause,
absolutely. Yeah.
Because
that's a fair answer.
Because like for Ben Affleck, you kind of had to make him more almost godlike because like he was bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially when you're putting him alongside of Superman, it's important
when you
to
have
make that
Superman
distinction.
and Flash and Wonder Woman, you kind of.
Well, that's what's interesting because when you take the Batman movies, we're not getting away from this Joker topic, by the way. We're coming back, but when you take the Batman movies and you put Batman in Gotham, it's kind of its own like world, and then when you take him out, he's a different person completely. It's very weird because Batman and his direct group of contacts. So Nightwing, is that his name? Nightwing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nightwing.
Nightwing, Robin.
Same guy. Well, at one point, same guy.
Well, Robin. There's 3 different Robins.
There is 3 different Robins, but Nightwing was the best Robin.
You got
That's why he got his own ship.
Nightwing, Red Hood, and
Dude,
yeah.
yes. But those people fit Oracle. Those people fit really well in their world. But when you have to bring them to the super world where you basically have gods, I mean, yeah, you're right. It is different stuff. So, all having that being said, Joker.
Okay, so let's see.
Mine's a tie, by the way.
Oh.
So you can do a tie if you want to do a tie.
So Heath Ledger was definitely the worst. No, I meant not Heath Ledger. The other.
Jared Leto.
There we go. That one.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
I was about to punch you in the face.
I know.
Heath Ledger died for that part. Damn it.
Yeah, Heath Ledger he's probably like the best rounded Joker because he was just an agent of chaos.
He did very well. Yeah, and his mannerisms were phenomenal.
But as far as like a drama, Joaquin Phoenix did pretty.
Did you say Joaquin?
Yeah,
Joaquin.
There we go. Joaquin. Joaquin.
Did you? I thought you did it on purpose. You're just stupid.
Look,
Joaquin Phoenix.
Like I said earlier, it's been a long day.
Dude, if I still had Facebook, I would totally put hashtag Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin.
Be like Jacques Juan. So Jacques, however you spell that, and then Juan Phoenix.
Well, at least we kind of know the names. There are some people out there who don't know any actors' names.
No, I know some people. So yeah, I think, but again, just like the Batmans exist on a different plane, I think the Jokers do. That was definitely hands down the best origin story for any villain ever, really. I mean, they did so well with that. Mm-hmm. And not only that, I think that Joker, I love how this is about books. That Joker,
well, comic books.
Well, right, and yeah, graphic novels. That Joker really, attested for, and look, I'm not one of these people that, oh my God, you gotta save people's feelings, but he did. It's a very good look at mental illness in the world, not just the country, but the world, and how maybe if we were just nicer to some people, things wouldn't be so bad. But also, don't be too nice to people because let them know when they suck. Dude, speaking of, real quick, they had no parking on the visitor spots.
Why does that concern me?
I don't know. I just hope my car doesn't get towed.
Honestly, they don't really tow that much over here.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm only gonna be a couple hours.
Yeah, I mean, if you park there for like several days without moving.
Maybe right. Yeah, that'd be like a problem. I mean, I didn't park in like a reserved. I just parked in a spot.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So for me, I'm gonna say best Joker in Batman movie. So Joaquin Phoenix overall, I would say, is the best. I don't know if anybody can even argue that. I mean, I would like to hear it. If you can't argue that, hit your boy up. My number was in the last podcast, so you know where to find me. But best Joker in a Batman movie, Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson tied for first. They both brought Jack Nicholson was a very good combination of dark and OG Adam West Batman Joker, like kind of funny, and Heath Ledger was just legitimately a psychopath, and that was good too.
Yeah, that was something I mentioned in a previous podcast where the movies kind of follow like the age of the comics.
Right.
So like the Golden Age, Bronze Age, all those different ages.
Right.
They all had like these different flavors to them.
All right.
So like psychological and campy
right.
and all that kind of stuff.
You know who I hate? The Riddler.
I think we all just hate the Riddler because of the Arkham games.
I was about to say that, yeah. Also Jim Carrey. Anyway, I just didn't think he was that good.
Yeah. I
mean, he did really good at being aggravating, which I think is kind of the Riddler's point. So maybe he did do good. I don't really know. I don't know much about the Riddler.
Like, I feel like the Riddler's just a villain who's like, I'm super smart. I think I'm smarter than all of you. And then Batman outsmarts him and is like, well, shit.
And then, son of a bitch. Just like outsmarts him and then like beats him up for no reason. Like, you ever notice, like every time the Riddler's in a cartoon, it's always like, damn, Batman got me. And then Batman just starts kicking the shit out of him. Like, he doesn't even fight back. He just gets his ass whipped. He's sort of like me as a kid. I'm going to do something stupid. Oh, God, I'm getting beat up. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a big, Joker's cool. Let me see if there's any other questions I can ask you to put you on the spot and maybe make people be like, why would you say that? What's your favorite book in the Bible? No, I'm just like,
what?
Anyway, that would really start controversy. No, let's we get in the 45-minute mark. Let's get to books for real for like 15 minutes here, so people don't think we're crazy. Like, this is about books, and all they did was talk about comic books and movies.
I mean, technically, comic books are books. They have words. They just have pictures too.
Right. Which is, I mean, coloring books are also books. They ain't got no words. They just got pictures. What's the definition of a book?
I feel. Hey Google, what's the definition of a book?
Here's the definition of book. A written or printed work consisting of pages glued or sewn together along one side and bound in covers.
See,
Written or printed words?
Or printed, so you don't even have to have words.
So technically, if you have a bunch of pages of just pictures, technically that's a book.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's put together and, whatever. Shel Silverstein. I love that guy.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, but I feel like he's underrated, I mean, he wrote all those poems, right? But he's also a musician.
Oh.
He wrote some songs, and he probably was like Jewish or something, I imagine. Silverstein, that's sort of Jewish, isn't it? That doesn't matter. I'm just saying,
I mean, are we assuming because it has Stein on the end that that's Jewish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you do that? Yeah, you could do that, right?
I mean,
tell me a name with Stein on the end that's not Jewish. See?
I got nothing.
Yeah, I know you did. That's why I said it.
Epstein?
Didn't kill himself. It's been so long.
The whole coronavirus was the cover up of like, oh hey, we're trying to cover up the fact that it was
that rant I did last week. I should have been like, and you know what? Everybody needs to come together. Epstein didn't kill himself, and then there's I would just like put that back. We got to bring that back. Hashtag Epstein didn't kill himself. It's mega important. I did it again. So yeah, I forget, but it comes back to me every now and again.
So what about the Star Wars Extended Universe?
What do you mean?
Like all those books that are not canon anymore?
Yeah, I haven't read any of that shit. I don't know. No, I don't think I have at all. Yeah.
What about the Star Wars novelizations? Read any of those at all?
No, and none. I looked at that book one time that has all the Star Wars lore in it, but that's about it.
Oh. Yeah, I have all of them. Well, I don't think I have Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, the novelizations, but I remember when I was younger, when Revenge of the Sith first came out, I read the novelization, and it was actually better, and actually had Qui-Gon Jinn in it, which they originally were going to have like a Force Ghost of them in the...
So were they written before or after the...
I feel the novelizations, they kind of work in cahoots with the like movies.
Right.
So that way they can take everything that was going to be in the movie and just like make novelization out of it and just give you more details, because that's generally what it does. It explains more. Explains more of the emotions and the purposes.
Yeah, that's probably pretty good then. I mean, Revenge of the Sith sucked as a movie. I bet the book's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, the high ground part was pretty cool.
Because he also had the moral high ground.
Well, I don't know about that. Let's discuss that, because I don't actually agree with you on that.
Well, I mean, that was just kind of like the joke. It's like, oh, I have the high ground because I have the moral high ground too, and physically.
Yeah, I feel like that's where they messed up, because it was so black and white. I mean, look, let's just break it down to the bare bones here, in the sense of.
But he killed children.
I understand, but listen, why did he kill children?
Because he wanted to save Padme, which in turn
would save his children. Wouldn't any man kill another child to save his own child? I mean, essentially. I mean, obviously, I would never. I might, but it just depends on the situation. But look, there's no river long enough doesn't contain a bend. My point is, that was a interesting gray spot. Like, I know they had to do it with the Darth Vader. I get all that, but I get it. Like, he was tricked into thinking that the right way was the wrong way, which actually created the outcome. Right? That wouldn't have happened if he wouldn't have went that way in the first place.
Yeah. Also, apparently, there's this thing where, in order for him to survive after his fight with Obi-Wan, so you remember how in Rise of Skywalker they kind of introduced the Force healing and all that, which even though that's kind of been part of video game lore for a while, but
right.
So there's a thing where when they were trying to keep Anakin alive long enough to put him in Darth Vader's suit, they actually transferred some of the life force from Padme into him, and that's why she died.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. But my point is that, what the whole thing was, he has these dreams about, her dying and losing his children and all these things. And sort of like as fate would have it, he's the reason it happened because he choked her out. Which was a great scene, by the way. I just mean that, it's sort of like, from his point of view, he's really not bad. Even though...
From his point of view, he thinks the rest of the Jedi are just kind of like compartmentalizing and like keeping secrets to go to their own vision.
Right.
And he just but since the Chancellor is like all...
The dark side.
He's like, oh, I can like totally help you save your wife if you're having these bad dreams about her. It's cool. Like, I can help you.
So, that's an even better story. Why don't we have a Palpatine origin story? Like, why was he a Sith Lord? Like, what made him go that way? Was he always like that? Was there some sort of weird, like...
I mean, I think it's like any other Sith. They're picked up probably at a younger age by these people who follow the dark side or say they're on the Jedi side, but they're actually on the dark side. And
so essentially, he's sort of like a terrorist. Like they, picked up at a young age, kind of like a cell. Like they place him in a position, and he gets power, and like low key, he's like taking the system down from the inside.
I mean, it's the rule of two. Because you know how they had the rule of two with Siths? There's always a master and a Padawan.
Right. So who was his master? John Cena.
No, I think it was Darth Plagueis.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But John Cena, because you never see him. See what I did? He's just there, like you can't see him. Derek. You see what I did? John Cena. Okay.
Why are you trying to make this a thing? I don't want it to be a thing.
John Cena. You know who? John Cena doesn't want to be a thing either. I'm sure he hates that crap. Could you imagine going to a store like, oh, I must be checking out a ghost. Beep. Like, you know how aggravating that would be every day of your life?
Yeah, it must suck to be known for something like that. And it's like everyone's going to just like, it's John Cena.
Well, it started as that. Then it turned into like, you can't see him. That's like the newer meme of that is like, oh look, I don't see anything in this picture, or that's so and so by himself. Like, it's weird.
I mean, I feel like it's an evolution of the camouflage outfits.
That's exactly what it is. But wicka. I'm doing that John Cena thing. You guys can't see it because this is all audio. But I'm gonna start doing stuff that would require you being here to see me do it, and then it'll be weird.
At that point, might as well just put the camera up again.
Next episode, I'm gonna be naked.
Elise, get your husband.
I think she's sleeping on your couch.
Yeah, I think she is.
Knocked out. Anyway.
I know she's on her phone watching a video. It's fine.
I got 2 phones.
I got 1 phone.
Oh, yeah. You guys don't have a house phone, so.
Yeah, why would we have a house phone?
Some people still do. Your parents do, don't they?
No, they got rid of it.
Oh, they did. I like how you said it like, no, they don't. Don't talk about my parents like that.
No, like, if it weren't for money purposes, they would have gotten rid of it like years ago.
They were saving money, probably like a deal.
Yeah, because they had the bundle with like the satellite and internet and all that.
It was cheaper, right? Oh well, I wanted to make one more point about books before we wrap this up. That's what she said. But I don't remember what I was going to say. I completely lost it. So I don't know
But I mean, books are always something we can come back to because...
Well, you touch on that every episode for sure. Like, there's always a book. It's kind of like Star Wars. It always goes back to some sort of, which is a book. So, Rambo. That's what I want to talk about.
Oh, we're coming
First
full
Blood.
circle. Okay.
Yes. I actually want to talk about this back then, but then we took a right and then we took a left, and we never came back to that right or that first turn. Anyway, if you watched the movie Rambo and you didn't read the book, and then don't ever watch the movie again, because the book is light years ahead of the movie.
He's also naked for a lot of it in the book. There's a good chunk.
That doesn't really matter, but okay. Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it's just one of the things that really threw me off, because I remember, like, in the movie, the only time he was naked was during, like, when they were hosing him down.
Well, it's because you can't just run around with your penis out in a movie. Like, there's like rules against that. Like,
well, that's why you aimed the camera, like, right above it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the whole movie would have been like this weird, like, back over the shoulder camera. So you see like a buttock.
A buttock.
A buttock, and you never like see his face. Some weird thing. Why did they never make a Turok movie with Sylvester Stallone?
Why didn't they make a lot of movies with Sylvester Stallone?
I want to see Rocky 8. I want to see one where he fights a Martian, like in Family Guy. You ever remember that Family Guy episode? There's no air on Mars. That means there's no air for him either.
Yeah. No. With Rocky, that's just Creed now. So.
Yeah, and they're not. I mean, they're all right, but they're not.
They're good dramas, but they're
not good. Like,
for as far as boxing goes, it's just they focused a lot on the drama, which I'm fine with because Michael B. Jordan's a really good actor.
Yeah, I think so too. The problem is, Rocky wasn't really so. It was a boxing movie, but it was more of a motivational film.
Yeah,
and I feel like the new Creed movies don't do it for me, not as well. The problem with Rocky though is like basically after part 2, got a little weird.
Yeah, they started jumping the shark a little bit more, and
yeah, the Mr. T thing was stupid. Honestly, that to me that was worse than the Russian thing. Like the Russian thing, if you let's consider the time. If you consider the time, the Russian movie makes a lot more sense than Mr. T. I mean, it was still stupid, but it did have a really good song though. The Russian one.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
what was the name of that song? Huh? It was where he leaves and then he's in the car and it's like, what is the name of that damn song? I don't know, but it's good.
Oh, the one where it's like you're halfway home or something like that.
I was say living on a prayer. No, not that one. But yeah, that song. Yeah, you're halfway there. It's shit. Man, I'm really mad because I really like that song and I want to listen to it, but I don't know the name. I'll just look up Rocky 4 later. But then Rocky 5. Oh my god, that movie was an abomination.
Yeah, if you just skip straight to the street fight and then just call it a day.
The street fight sucks. Like it's like to me.
But it's the best part of the movie.
Well, it is, but to me, which is terrible. But first off, Tommy Morrison's dead now, so I can talk shit about him. He sucked as a boxer. He was trash. He also had AIDS. Now that doesn't really have anything to do with his boxing abilities, but he did suck as a boxer. I mean, yeah, he was bad. I mean, he did beat George Foreman, but George Foreman was like 50, so like 45, whatever. But anyway, I never liked Tommy Morrison. He was kind of he's arrogant. But anyway, fast forward from that. The street fight was a complete abomination to boxing. Like, that's what made me kind of mad. As a boxing fan, and I really think Stallone probably should have known that. Because, I mean, the whole thing about Rocky is, like, you know, he always fights fair. Like, Rocky never cheats. Like, he always goes in the ring and he gives it his all. He beat the shit out of some kid in the street. Like, it's just not, like... Also, how? Like, Tommy Morrison's like 22 years old, and he's like, I mean, I don't know. It was dumb. The whole idea was dumb. Not only that, it's like they went out and they said, you know what? We need to find the most like overrated trash boxer ever and put him in this movie. Because let's be honest, dude couldn't act. I mean, when Stallone outacts you, it's pretty bad. But also, I don't know. I hated the movie.
So it's the equivalent of like my dad going against you.
No, your dad probably whipped my ass, but it'd be the equivalent of me and your dad fighting if I was like an in shape boxer, like if I could actually throw hands. Like it would be like I was like super in shape and ready to go, and your dad hadn't put his hands on anybody in 30 years. Like that's, I mean, or let's just, I mean, how it had been like 10 years since Rocky retired in that movie.
No, it's only been like, it literally been like maybe 5 years.
But still, you know how long 5 years out the ring is?
Well, wait, hang on, because at the very beginning of Rocky 5, it was like, oh hey, yeah, brain damage, and then I think it's been like maybe a few years. But it hasn't been that much.
Let me explain it like this. If you were to take... All right, so I think this would be a better way to explain it. Rocky is older, is retired, has brain damage. Tommy Morrison, as far as the movie's logic goes, is a heavyweight title contender. Rocky beats him up. No way.
I mean, experience plus bricks for hands.
No. Nope, no way. He never touched him. I mean, Morrison would have danced all over him. In fact, every time that actual fight happens in boxing, the old guy gets murdered. Like, bad murdered. Look up Mike Tyson and fights older boxers, and you'll see what I mean. But no, 5 to me was just, like, if you just don't watch 5 and then you watch Rocky Balboa, it's fine. And I thought Rocky Balboa was a good movie. But, again... heavyweight title contender, old dude who owns a restaurant. That's why, like, it was funny because, you know, they had the other ending where he wins and he's just like, oh, like nothing really changes. Like, he's like, oh, I won the fight. It's like it.
He's like, oh, cool.
But to me, that's the thing is, like, the win, even in the first movie, the Rocky movies were not about the win. They were about, like, not quitting, right? Like, they were about, like, I'm not going to win this fight. You're not going to win every fight that you're in. This is motivational, guys. Listen to this. You're not going to win every fight that you're in, right? Hell, you might not ever win any fights. But if you can always be standing at the end of it, that's a true champion. Except that you didn't win, so you're not a champion. But hey, you might get a shot next year, and you might win that one.
Yeah, so essentially the plot of Rocky 1 and 2.
Right. Which, Rocky 2 is the best movie, I think. Although, as a boxing fan, that was the slowest count I've ever seen in my life. That would have been a double count out, no doubt. Then they had a Rocky 3, and they'd have fought again, which I would have been fine with. I think Stallone and who's that guy? Who's
Apollo?
Apollo, yeah. Who plays Apollo?
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. They had such a good chemistry. Those two guys. Like, when they killed him, when the Russian guy kills him, I was like, this is stupid. Like, I actually didn't like that at all. I was like, come on, man. Like, I wish they'd kept him around.
Yeah, actually, I think that caused a little bit of friction in real life with the two of them.
Well, he wanted to be in the newer movies, and obviously he can't because he's dead.
Yeah.
Because you made it put, like, Spider Rico. He works in the restaurant. And,
yeah.
Which... he only ever mentioned that guy one time in, like, the first movie. He's like, it's just Spider Rico. And it's like, yeah. But anyway, we go on an hour, and we barely talked about books.
I mean, we talked about books a little bit.
Do they have Rocky Balboa books?
Probably. They probably have the bare minimum have like novelizations or something.
I think it'd be kind of cool, you know. I mean, just like it's like a good. I mean, I don't know. It's like when you look at it, again, it's a great story. Like, he's like this mob enforcer who's living in like a 1-bedroom apartment. He ain't got no woman. He's like a trash boxer. But when the opportunity arises, he becomes a champion. You know, even though he lost like 57 fights, he was like 32-12 or 30 or 40 something and 27. I don't know. It's ridiculous. But still, champion. Yeah. And then Mick dies. That was the hardest scene I've ever. Actually, I cried. But I still do. Yeah, I mean, that was. We did it, Mick. And he didn't. He lost big time. I mean, I got the shit beat out of him. I mean, that was bad. Like, that was honestly. If I was a boxing commission, I'd never let that rematch happen. That was bad, you know. But then again, it's a movie, I know. But damn, he got beat bad. Mr. T A-teamed that ass. Yeah.
Okay. But, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
That's what she said.
But we can always come back to books another time because there's always more books coming out.
Yeah, I kind of like this format better though, dude. Start with the topic, kind of talk about it, and just bullshit for an hour.
Yeah, because like mentally, there's like 1 or 2 things you're always going to want to talk about.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah. Coronavirus.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like saying it.
Oh, hey, Dean. How's it going?
Dean? Is that the cat's name?
Dean, yeah.
Dean, all right.
Or if you don't like Dean, you can also call him Simba. It depends on your preference. But, yeah, so we'll wrap this up.
That's what she said.
We're Everything Opposite Podcast.
Yes.
You can find us everywhere. Apple, Google, Spotify, SoundCloud, all those places.
Yeah.
Once this coronavirus stuff is over, check out Aaron's band.
Yeah, left on red. Like you got a red light and take a left. It's legal, but it's a good band.
And check out my short stories. They're kind of cool. They're only $3 a pop. You can find them on Amazon. There's gonna be like 13 of them by the time I'm done. So as of recording, I've released 5 of them. So check them out. And we'll see you guys next week.
I love every one of you in a really creepy old man type way.
That's weird.